Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today in this webinar from Studying Japan. My name is Giancarlo Carmelino and my colleague Álvaro. So today we have this webinar that is going to be to introduce English programs in Japanese universities. This one here, today we have, this webinar is going to be for Spanish speakers and Brazilian viewers in Latin America. And today we have the program, some points that we wanted to share with all of you. Today we're going to have the English programs, in this case from Yamagata University. We're going to have a presentation of Professor Larry Lopez and his lab Smart Forest. Then we're going to have a session of information about scholarships, Q&A. And later we're going to have a section about also MEXT scholarships, but this one is going to be to address Brazilian viewers. This one is going to be conducted in Portuguese. And later at the end, my colleague Álvaro, he will be presenting our coming activities in Brazil for July. So Studying Japan is a project from the Japanese government, from MEXT, from the Ministry of Education here in Japan. And the mission of this project is to connect Latin American students with Japan. And how we do it? We do it through the creation of study fairs, face-to-face consultations, and online consultations. Also, we create academic workshops and conduct visits to high schools, universities, research centers, etc. So before continuing here, well, I myself, Giancarlo Carmelino, I coordinate for Spanish-speaking countries, and my colleague Álvaro Canashiro, in charge of Brazil. So right now, we're going to have the presentation from Professor Larry Lopez. Professor Lopez, he will be presenting through a pre-recorded video, but we have two of the students that are currently enrolled in his laboratory. So in case you have any questions, you can use on top of the chat, you have the icons that it says Q&A. So if you have any question that you would like to send to them, you can do it in that section. So, so these questions are going to be addressed directly there in the chat. Well, thank you very much, and we're going to follow with a video from Professor Larry Lopez. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, this presentation is to introduce my laboratory at the Faculty of Agriculture in Yamagata University, and the name of the laboratory is Smart Forest. We are located in the prefecture of Yamagata, which is the same name as a university, and the picture that you see here in this slide is one of the most emblematic places in Yamagata city, which is called Yamadera, which in Japanese, in English, actually means the temple at the top of the mountain. My laboratory is a laboratory with a large number of students. At the moment, we are 27, which is very unusual, actually, in Yamagata, and I will say in Japan in general. Our laboratory is made mainly of foreign students. Of those 27 students, 23 are foreigners and 4 are Japanese. We have this type of parties quite often, celebrating at least students. Try to celebrate as much as possible any event. As I mentioned before, the university is located in the prefecture of Yamagata, and Yamagata is located in the northeastern region of Japan. This region is made by 6 prefectures, which is Fukushima, which you have probably already heard, Miyagi, Iwate, here we cannot see, but it's Aomori here, Akita, and finally Yamagata. The university, the campus is actually quite spread out in the prefecture. In Yamagata City, here actually it looks like there is only one campus, but there are actually two because the Faculty of Medicine is located in the same city, but it's outside the main campus where the Faculty of Literature, Education, and Science is located. The Faculty of Agriculture is in Suluoka, and the Faculty of Engineering is in the city of Yonezawa. And we have a population of students of approximately 9,000 students. Our faculty is divided in 4 years of bachelor, 2 years of master's, and 3 years of PhD. The first year, all the students have to be in the main campus. From the second year, they choose which faculty they want to go. So if they come to the Faculty of Agriculture, they have to come to the city of Tsuruoka. Here, the students choose three main fields. The ones in blue is the field where I am teaching. And during the third year, the student has to choose a laboratory. And this is where the word laboratory comes. So in our faculty, usually 3 students come, bachelor students have to come per year. So this is more or less compulsory. But the master's and PhD students choose the laboratory anytime they want. This is a very peculiar system. I have not seen it anywhere else in the world. I haven't seen it in Europe or in South America, which I am more familiar with. But this is, I think, one of the main characteristics of universities in Japan, because the students from the second semester of the third year, they are assigned to these laboratories, and each student has a desk from where he can go to his classes, but he returns and conducts his research there. The master students and the PhD students too. So the laboratory is all made by these 3 different levels of education, these 3 different educational levels in the faculty. This is very interesting. This is one of the main characteristics that I actually like in the university, because there is lots of interaction for research between all these 3 levels. And there is a very good interaction between students. And they have a sense of belonging, which is very important in Japan. I tell you this because mainly European university students and South American students, when they come, they want to finish the class and go home. But in Japan, you finish the class and you usually go back to your laboratory and stay there even after university hours. So this is really, really an interesting system. So we have a master's program, which is divided into 3 different fields. The one I am is bioenvironment, but we also have 2 double degree programs, which are one with the University of Hanover in Germany and the other one with the University of Torino in Italy. The one with Germany had started already in 2019, and it's running already for the second period of 5 years until 2029. And the double degree with Torino started just last year. I show you this because I am the coordinator of these 2 programs. So together with professors from these universities, we built these 2 programs. And even though it belongs, of course, to the faculty, to the university, it is a program that started from our laboratories. And this is one additional point that I want to add in of the system of laboratories, is that professors have lots of independence to create programs that will benefit the university or the faculty in this case. So this is one of these cases. One more aspect that characterizes our laboratory is that from the laboratory, we have promoted the internationalization of the faculty, and we have developed a relationship with professors, students, and institutions all over the world, which later have become agreements for the university. And thanks to these agreements, we have developed, as you saw in the previous slides, in programs such as the double degree. So we have several agreements with universities in Peru, in Europe, in Spain, Germany, Italy, Ukraine, and Poland, and in Asia with Vietnam, with China, Vietnam, Mongolia, and Indonesia, and in Africa with the National University of Agriculture in Benin. So we do quite a lot of activities, inviting students and also visiting foreign universities. This is one that we did with German, Italian, and Ukrainian universities here in Japan, where we traveled for 2 weeks in Tohoku in northeastern Japan, visiting several research sites, universities, institutions, museums, and cities, and also, of course, traditional and cultural places. So now I will tell you more about the research that we do in our laboratory. I am in the Department of Forestry. Actually, my major is meteorology, but since I came here to Japan, I have focused my studies on the relationship between environment and forest. So we investigate forest structure, we identify tree species and evaluate forest health using drones. We try to understand the relationship between forest and the environment using tree rings and stable isotopes. And we also investigate the forest nutrient cycle using drones and using stable isotopes. So this is in general what we do, and this is in general what the students that come to my laboratory choose as topics. So we use different types of drones. We started using them in 2018, and from them, you know that this technology evolves very quickly. So we have been acquiring different kinds of drones, and now we use them for different purposes. Uh, why we use drones is because of the resolution. If you see the picture on the left, on the right, this is the image of a satellite of the same tree that you can see on the left. So we took, I bought this image a long time ago, and now we collected drone images from the same place. And I think I don't need to explain you the huge difference that these two images have. This drone, actually, this image was actually is actually considered from the point of view of resolution very high for satellite, but it's not enough. It's not enough for us to understand what is in this image. It's too much guessing, and with drones we don't have to guess. We know exactly what is in the ground. One of the other reasons why I chose to use drones was that in forestry, we usually have two different levels, the forest level and the tree level. And by using only satellite images, it was very difficult to see the tree, because we can only see the forest. And if we do research, if we go inside the forest, we can see the tree, but once you're inside, you completely lose sight of the forest. So you can see the tree, but not the forest. You can see the forest, but not the tree. That was I think, the issue that foresters had for many years until we were able to use drones. So now with these drone images, we can see the forest very clearly here, but also we can see the tree. But with this single, very clear image of one single tree. So this is very important because it allows us to understand first the tree structure, tree size, canopy size, and we can also evaluate the health of trees. We use also, this is a very modern drone, it's called multispectral drone or multispectral UAV. It has 5 cameras. As you can see here, this is the near infrared, the red edge, the red and the green image, and it also has the RGB. It's one of the best drones in the market at the moment. All the best drones that you have in the market right now are Chinese. Is the brand is DJI, is the best drone, versatile, is very light. They are not so expensive, and the not only the drone but also the software that you need to process the images is also available. We conduct our research mainly in Tohoku region in northeastern Japan. Tohoku in Japanese means northeast. So we have a plantation where we work in Iwate Prefecture in Shizukuishi. We have a coastal forest, which is in Tsuruoka. This is a very typical forest, man-made forest ecosystem in Japan. We have another natural forest, is a natural reserve in Takadate-yama, which is a mixture of different tree species, natural species, all endemic of Japan. It's a very complex forest, but we are also trying to identify the species just using drones. We have another site in Miyagi, which is an area that was affected by the tsunami in 2011, and we are monitoring its development. We have another area, which is an area affected by insect damage in Yamagata. This is a very highly touristic place, and we conduct our research here already for 6 years, and it has given us very, very interesting results. Several of my students have written their thesis at the undergraduate, master's, and PhD level. And we have our own forest. The university has its own forest, and here we also conduct different types of research with plantations and with natural forests. This is one example that we have. What we do, we have a forest. We monitor it with a drone. We do it at different altitudes, because this study that I'm showing you here was a PhD student doing a study on biodiversity. This is how biodiverse is this forest, not as much as in South America, of course, but you can see here different tree species. This picture is taken in October when the leaves are already changing colors. And what we do is we label all these different species and count how many trees of each species are there to understand their distribution and in the end their biodiversity. So here you have a 3D image of the forest. You can see the health. You can see that some of the trees are dead. This is, in Spanish, they are called abetos. In English, they're called fir. This is the forest that I was telling you was affected by insects. So you can see here the living abeto, and you can see here the dead abeto. And some shrub vegetation, which is really, really beautiful. The colors change really very nicely in autumn. This is another study that we are doing. We are trying to integrate 2 different types of camera. One is the drone camera, and the other one is a 360 camera that you see here. So it gives you a complete view of the site. And this is the way that we walked, taking pictures inside the forest at ground level. And this is the image of the collection of the images with the drone at usually 50 or 60 meters above ground. We use different types of softwares to integrate these two images. So what we have is this asset in the ground and asset at the top. So now we can see the forest from the top and from the inside. So this is the picture of the forest, and this is the point clouds of the trees if we just use UAVs. But if we use UAVs and 360, we have a very clear image of the tree. And this is important because we use these images to calculate the volume of the tree. The volume, and with the volume of the tree, we can calculate the biomass, and with the biomass, we can calculate the carbon credits that this forest can generate. So it's a very interesting methodology. It's very real. It's not based on allometric equations, which have a huge error and are usually used for these kind of studies. We also try to digitalize the forest, the whole canopy. In this case, this is a schematic of how we see this tree, for example, that is green, completely covered by leaves, but the white areas are the damaged areas that can be by environmental factors or can be by insects. And this is what we are basically doing, digitalizing the trees. We are also using the images we collect with drones to train deep learning models. So the deep learning models can tell us, for example, different tree species or the health condition of trees. The flow is, as you can see here, we collect the images, we collect thousands of images that can be RGB or can be multispectral images. In this case, it's RGB. We generate the orthomosaic. We work with GIS or GIS, as it is called in Spanish. We do the annotations, which is the labeling. So we identify the tree species. In the case of health, we identify the degree of damage or health condition of each single tree in the forest. We follow also the health of that tree in time. So what has been the temporal change of this tree? For example, this tree in particular went from percent damage in 2019 to completely dead by the year 2022. And we use different deep learning models. The students prefer to use quite a lot YOLO. It gives much better visual results than other deep learning models. And this is an example of it. So they are looking for fir trees, and the model identifies the fir trees quite successfully. Of course, not only finding them, but also evaluating the degree of damage. Well, thank you very much for your attention. I leave you with this picture of my students collecting images in the field, and some of them learning how to use the drone, and the student on the right teaching them how to use it. If you want to have more information about the laboratory, this QR code on the left is the homepage of our laboratory, and this one on the right is our Instagram account. If you have any question, please contact me anytime. Thank you very much for your attention again. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you very much again for the presentation of Professor Larry Lopez. If you have any questions for him, you can address this to the Q&A section. So on top, you're going to have the link for that. And following with the next part in the presentation, we want to talk about study opportunities in Japan. We're going to have this section presenting about academic destination, Japan as an academic destination, why it's important to know about it. Also, is it possible to study in Japan? And what type of scholarships you can find here. So as an academic destination, it's important to know that Japan has up to these days 28 Nobel Prizes, 9 of them in physics, 8 in chemistry, 5 in medicine and biology. Japan is also considered inside of the top 5 countries with more scientific production. And also 5 of the Japanese universities are among the 100 universities in the world. So up to this day, Japan has about 280,000 international students studying here in Japan. Well, this is accounting until May 2023. In the case of the Latin American students, we can see an increase if we compare from 2013 to 2024. In 2013, we had about 1,262 students, Latin American students here. And in 2024, we have accounted about 2,452 students. Also, there are several courses in English in different areas. Also laboratories, similar to the case of Professor Larry Lopez. And it helps in the possibility of starting an international career here in Japan. Also, another important point to know about Japan as an academic destination is that it's very affordable, the educational cost here. There's a lot of scholarships and also tuition discounts. And also, it's worth mentioning that it's very accessible and effective, the national health system in this country. Plus, it's one of the safest countries in the world. So about the fields, Japan offers for international students several careers opportunities in different areas: engineering, health, chemical, biological, and environmental sciences, and as well human sciences. There are certain exemptions, but in most of the cases, all these fields are available for international students here in Japan. So about undergraduate and postgraduate programs in English, it is important to know that Japan not only offers that the academic offer here is not only conducted in Japanese. There are several programs that the universities here has been developing to help increasing the number of international students conducted in English. And as well, possibilities to study partially in English and also partially in Japanese. So there is also the chance for all international students to continue their Japanese studies about the language in parallel to their own field studies. So example of some undergraduate courses conducted in English. We have, for example, courses from University of Tokyo, University of Tohoku, KUAS, there is the Kyoto University of Advanced Science. We have the Tokyo University of Foreign Studies, the International College of Liberal Arts in Yamanashi Gakuin University, APU Ritsumeikan. Don't worry that all these QR codes we're gonna be sharing at the end of this presentation and QR code that collects all of this information that you can check later with more patience. Also, another type of programs that is not only for undergraduate but also graduate studies in English here in Japan. Also, you have courses from Nagoya University, Osaka University, Keio University, Shinshu, Kumamoto University, and University of Tsukuba. This is not the only offer. You can find more of these courses in English in our guides. These guides you're gonna find also in this at the end of this presentation. you're going to find also this QR code that contains this the PDF versions of these English program guides for you. Then the next question, is it possible to study in Japan? So something that is worth mentioning that, okay, Japan has to offer a lot of scholarship opportunities, but also it is very important to know that Japan is a very affordable academic destination in comparison with other, for example, countries like United States or England. In the case of national or public universities, they are very affordable. Approximately the tuition, annual tuition, goes around 3,700 USD approximately. That's during the whole year in comparison with the other countries. And also in the case of private universities, despite being more expensive than national universities, also these prices are very competitive in comparison with these other academic destinations. So in average, a student who is considering coming here to study in Japan, the education fees are going to be going around 3,600 USD for national universities, up to approximately 7,500 USD. Then about costs of living here in Japan, also it's worth mentioning that Japan is very affordable, but depending also where is depending the city where you are going to study in the university. Approximately, a student requires per month about 620 USD. That is to cover not only food, but also renting the apartment, transportation, and other possible spendings. So yes, it's a very depending the like I mentioned, depending the city is approximately this amount that is required per month. Also, international students they can supplement the monthly income doing part-time jobs or arubaitos, like is normally commonly here called in Japan. Approximately 76% of international students do some kind of part-time job. Also, with a student visa, you have the chance to work in these part-time jobs up to 28 hours a week. And approximately the wage average for this kind of works goes around 8 to 12 USD per hour. So some examples, the most common ones are like working on restaurants, working as a market assistant, that approximately give you about 8 to 12 USD per hour. Other options could be related with language. They can give you a little bit more, but maybe the hours is going to be a little bit lower. And also, well, about the types of scholarships that you can find here in Japan, the options that we want to present to you, we're not going to be too in detail with everyone or with every of these scholarships, but we want to give you a general overview, and also you can find more information of these scholarships in the QR code that I mentioned and will share at the end. So the first option, and I think the most spreaded one, is the MEXT scholarships. MEXT scholarships, MEXT is the short for the Ministry of Education in Japan. These scholarships are given mainly through the embassies and the consulates in different countries around the world. Then we have a scholarship provided by private foundations. Also, there is some special scholarships that is for Japanese descendants, like JICA or Nippon Zaidan. And also, it's important to mention that universities also they provide a lot of scholarships and discounts for international students. So, going with the first type of scholarship, the MEXT scholarship, you're gonna find information more in detail inside of the website of the Japanese embassy in your country. With a QR code, also you can find which is the corresponding Japanese embassy to where you're living at the moment. So about these scholarships, it's very important to mention that these are comprehensive scholarships. They cover all the expenses. the flight ticket for the student from the country of origin to Japan at the beginning, and then at the end when the scholarship ends. It gives you also a monthly amount of money for covering these living costs. Also covers the education costs. So you don't have to pay during the whole time that you're under this scholarship. You don't need to pay anything directly to the university. And also something important, and I think it's a very interesting point about the MEXT scholarship in comparison with other scholarships, is that, and also a scholarship from other countries, is that the MEXT scholarship has a possibility to be extended. That means, for example, if you are going for an undergrad program, you have the chance to extend it only once for a master, or if you're coming to a master program, you have the chance to extend it to a PhD program. So in general, the requirements, you need to complete some documentation that you can download directly from the embassy. And then you have to take some exams and interviews directly also with the embassy. And some of the modalities, they have different application times. For example, Japanese language and Japanese culture or teacher training. Normally it's every year, the applications between January and February. And also we have the undergraduate and research or postgraduate studies scholarship, technical and occupational scholarships. This is also this offer of these modalities depending on the country. And these are open between April and May of each year. So about these two scholarships, I'm just going to mention briefly about undergrad and the research postgraduate scholarships. The undergrad has a duration of 5 years. So the program lasts for 4 years of education, but the first year when you arrive to Japan is a preparation year. You have to go to take a Japanese intensive course and also to prepare for the entrance examination to the university. This scholarship is obtained, like all of these, through these tests and interviews that you have to take with the local embassy. And about the main requirements is that you need to be under 24 years at the moment of application, and also to be, you can apply from the last year or senior year of your high school. Then the research or postgraduate studies scholarship has a duration between 3 to 6 years, 3 years in the case of masters. There is 2 years plus the preparation year, and up to 6 if you go for a PhD. So here the difference with the undergrad is that for research, you need to prepare also a research plan. That is basically your explanation of what is the topic that you want to come here to Japan. The main requirements for this scholarship is to be 35 years of age at most, and also already being graduated from the university or being in the last academic semester. For all these scholarships, it's also important during the application to have a certified language proficiency, that it could be English or Japanese. In the case of English, it has to be an advanced intermediate level that is comparable with a B2 on TOEFL, or an N2 in the case of Japanese, the JLPT. Then, well, from this point, I would like to give the floor to my colleague, Álvaro. So he will continue with explanation of the scholarships by private foundations. Thank you, Álvaro.
Thank you, Giancarlo. Okay, we have some private scholarships. Could you pass the slide, please? Like JASO, which is an organization that works for MEXT. They have, every year they publish a booklet which contains scholarship for privately funded students. So these scholarships, you can apply for them after you join the university. You can access this content through the QR code. Next, please. There are also scholarships specialized, geared towards the Japanese descendants living in South America. So for instance, we have this JICA scholarship. They have 4 modalities of scholarships. These modalities, depending on the country, the modalities change a little bit, but basically they have 4. I think for many students, the scholarships for master's and PhD degree, they are very much they are very famous among some students. They also have scholarships for middle and high school students for a short-term exchange to Japan. Another scholarship which is very popular among people of Japanese descendants is this Nikkei training scholarship, where we spend also a short period in Japan doing research or helping the Japanese Brazilian community or Japanese Peruvian community in Japan. Next, please. Yes, this table summarizes the scholarships. This table actually shows the scholarships for the case of Brazil, but in each country, JICA has a representation, and then you can try Googling, searching for your country plus JICA, and then you have access to a list of scholarships available. Next, please. Besides that scholarships, we have another type of scholarship, which is with technical training, which is aimed for like professionals who are working in their fields related to technology or related to engineering. For instance, if someone works as an engineer for a cereal company, or if someone works in the public sector, or if someone works in the police, JICA provides different types of technical training scholarships for those professionals. Usually these types of scholarships, the period is 2 to 3 weeks of training. So even those who don't have Japanese descendants, they will be able to apply for these technical training scholarships. This link is for the case of Brazil, but you can also look for technical training scholarships, JICA technical training scholarships in your country. Next, please. Another scholarship for Japanese descendants is the Nikkei Come True project, sponsored by Nippon Zaidan Foundation. This scholarship is almost similar to MEXT scholarship, but the big difference that you have to have a Japanese descendants. Many countries in Latin America are eligible to apply for the scholarship. So here you have these 2 QR codes. The scholarship, they publish it. It's every year you can apply for them. So the period for application, it varies a little bit, but every year it's like my scholarship. You can try applying for them every year. Next, please. Thank you, Jen. And now, besides those scholarships from organizations, some Japanese universities do offer scholarships commented by the universities themselves. And you can also combine scholarships with reduction on tuition fees. Next, please. Like we have some examples here to show you. In the case of KUAS, it's possible to combine a scholarship with tuition fee exemption. Next, please. In the case of APU also, they have English course, and it's possible to combine a tuition fee, exemption of tuition fee, and with a scholarship. the case of APU, it's interesting because almost half of students and professors are foreigners. So APU provides a really international environment for you. Next, please. AK scholarship, AK Universe also provides a special scholarship, which combines 50% of tuition fee exemption. You can access all the details through this QR code. Next, please. As for master's program, Scuba Universe offers this master's program in sports and Olympic studies. Could you go next, please? When you access the website and in the admission section, there is this subsection scholarships. And when you click there, this next, please. You have this page. Some programs, they do have a MEXT scholarship, but it's a little bit different from the MEXT scholarship through embassies and general consulates recommendation. So it's a special MEXT scholarship that you can apply within the program. And here we have the application forms and the necessary documents. Next, please. You can also have access to all this information through our Instagram and through our websites. Here we provide the links for the Spanish-speaking countries, information in Portuguese, so you can access and read all this information at any time. Next, please. Thank you very much for your attention and your patience. We apologize for all the trouble to access today's webinar, but we'll make sure to share this information, edit and share this information, publish them to our YouTube channels. So we'll make sure that you not miss this content. We got a question in the QA session.
Okay.
Okay. Ana Maria Rodriguez is asking if it's possible to work in something related to your field of study. For example, if you have a degree in engineering, couldn't you apply for a part-time as an engineer instead of something like a restaurant or as a translator?
Well, also it depends. For example, there are other type of part-time jobs inside of the university. It happens sometimes the professors, they hire students as a TA, teaching assistants. That's also considered a part-time job. Maybe that could be an option that is more related, but it depends on the professors. When the professors they require an additional assistance.
Let me check the chat.
Also, I can reply this one that is from Ana Maria regarding the language for the MEXT. In the case of Japanese, you require if you want to apply using a Japanese proficiency certificate, you need to have at least an N2. In the moment, because this is for Japanese required graduate. So in the process of graduate scholarships, in the embassy, you have to take a language test. That it could be either in English or in Japanese. And the level, like I mentioned, it is similar. It has to be an advanced intermediate level, B2, as an example of the TOEFL in English, or an N2 in the case of Japanese.
Thank you. There's another question from Ana Maria, also regarding the MEXT language exam. What level of Japanese is required to apply to a graduate program?
Yes, it's the question that I just mentioned. Yes, Ana Maria sent two questions. So I just want to add that here in this slide where you can see this well, big square with a lot of bubbles inside, you can access. This is our directory of useful links. So all the information that we were talking about today about scholarships, also the guides of with more English programs in Japanese universities, and also tools for learning some basic Japanese. You can find them here in this QR code. Also, you can find our the access for our social networks such as Instagram or Facebook, and also our YouTube channel. So this presentation today, we're gonna be also like my colleague Alvaro mentioned it, we're gonna be posting it in our YouTube channel later.
There is a question from
Oh,
Julio Manuel Benavides.
mhm.
I have a question. Which level of Japanese by JLPT level, N1, N2, N3, 4, or 5, I must get to enter at the University of
Oh,
Yamagata? Wow. Or
we're experiencing an
yes, earthquake, live earthquake, but
earthquake. Yes.
everything's fine. Sorry. I read the question again
Okay.
from Julio. Which level of Japanese by JLPT level, N1, 2, I must have to get to enter at the University of Yamagata? Or is
Okay.
it only English language required?
Directly, I cannot speak specifically for Yamagata, but as a general rule of thumb, for any university here in Japan, if you are planning to apply directly to the university, you have to, well, first of all, you have to check the basic requirements inside of the page of the university, because it varies, even though it's the same university, depending the program. Some programs, they have English courses, so you have to check because the requirements changes. Normally, in the case of Japanese, well, if you want to go for a full Japanese program, it's the same as applying for the MEXT scholarship. You will need to have at least an N2. In the case of English, the same. You will need to have a B2 intermediate advanced level. But for example, if you're going for master programs with Professor Larry Lopez in Yamagata, you have seen that in his lab, there's a lot of international students. And normally in all master programs in Japan, you can conduct them in English because the main point for your graduation is your thesis, your research thesis. And that has to be developed in English. So if the professor agrees for you to conduct everything in English, it is possible to enter. But of course, you need to have a sufficient level to express yourself. And yeah, if you have a certificate of language, is much better.
Okay, thank you. So we don't have any more questions. Maybe we can proceed to the next presentation.
Yes.
Which is...
That's it here. Okay. Alvaro, before you continue, sorry to interrupt you again. I just want to mention that from this point, we're going to be changing the language. So as we were mentioning earlier, or also in the publication on Instagram, today's webinar is meant for Spanish speakers and also Brazilian attendees. So that's why we are doing today this session in English. But from this point forward, it's going to be in Japanese in Portuguese, because, yeah, Muri, because our next guest is from the Consulate of Japan in Sao Paulo, and she will be presenting about the MEXT scholarships in the case of Brazil. But if you're interested, the process is very similar to the MEXT scholarships in other countries. So if you want to continue staying with us, please, you are more than welcome to do it. And that's it. And from now, I will let you, Alvaro and Ms. Stella Tanaka, the presentation. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Giancarlo.
Uhum.
Muito obrigado pela
Muito
atenção de
obrigado.
vocês. Muito obrigado. E agora a gente continua com a apresentação da Stella, do Consulado Geral de São Paulo. Por favor, Stella, quando você estiver pronta, fique à vontade para iniciar sua
Olá,
apresentação.
boa noite, pessoal. Tudo bem? Muito obrigada, Álvaro. Então, eu agradeço aqui mais uma vez a Study in Japan pelo convite para apresentarmos sobre as bolsas de estudos MEXT. Vou compartilhar aqui então a minha tela, ok? Então vamos lá. Talvez vocês já tenham ouvido aí sobre a minha palestra, mas vou falar um pouquinho dela novamente. Então, estamos aqui, né? Vou falar sobre as bolsas de estudos MEXT, que são as bolsas oferecidas pelo Ministério da Educação do Japão e a qual o consulado realizou o processo seletivo. Eu vou seguir aqui esse índice, falar um pouquinho sobre o que é o MEXT, né? Que a gente fala MEXT, mas o que é isso? Requisitos gerais, quais são os benefícios, o que essa bolsa oferece, quais são as etapas de seleção, as modalidades, né? E os sites, algumas dicas aí para vocês, tudo bem? Qualquer dúvida, vão enviando aí na caixinha aí de perguntas, tudo bem, pessoal? Então, quando a gente fala o que é o MEXT é o acrônimo do Ministério da Educação, Cultura, Esporte, Ciência e Tecnologia do Japão, que seria em japonês o Monbu Kagakusho. E o Monbu Kagakusho oferece aí essas bolsas de estudo aos brasileiros aí desde 1956. Então, no ano que vem, vai fazer 70 anos que essas bolsas são oferecidas aos brasileiros, né? E aqui nós temos duas fotos que foram as orientações pré-embarques, né? Que nós realizamos no ano passado, em agosto, para o pessoal que embarcou entre setembro e outubro, e uma aí em março deste ano, para o pessoal que embarcou, para os bolsistas, né? Que embarcaram no dia 1º de abril. Tá? Então, tem a presença aí de professores da banca, bolsistas, ex-bolsistas, convidados, cônsul geral, ok? Então, são 6 modalidades de bolsas de estudos: pesquisa pós-graduação, graduação, escola técnica, curso profissionalizante, língua e cultura japonesa e treinamento para professores. São aí no Japão, né, mais de 330 mil estudantes estrangeiros de mais de 180 países, mais de 9.300 bolsistas MEXT, né, no Japão, e somente o consulado em São Paulo já indicou mais de 1.000 bolsistas. Isso somente no consulado em São Paulo, tirando aí outras representações diplomáticas no Brasil. Então, são muitas chances, muitas vagas. Então, o que a gente precisa aí para participar do processo seletivo? O primeiro, mais importante, para participar aqui no Brasil, é ter a nacionalidade brasileira. Ter um bom conhecimento aí da língua japonesa e inglesa, isso aí vai depender da modalidade também, aí dá uma diferença, né? O importante aí para todas as modalidades é ter disposição, né? Vontade de aprender a língua japonesa, assistir às aulas em japonês, ter uma boa saúde física e mental para ficar aí longe da família, focar nos estudos, né? Mas também para conhecer o Japão. Então, só não pode ser aí militar ativo. Tem uma quarentena aí de 3 anos para quem já foi bolsista MEXT, mas exceto para as bolsas, quem foi bolsista de língua e cultura japonesa. E para participar do processo seletivo, o candidato deve procurar uma representação diplomática japonesa responsável aí pela região onde você vive. Se for aqui, for participar do processo seletivo no consulado do Japão em São Paulo, o candidato tem que ser residente nos estados de São Paulo, Mato Grosso do Sul e Triângulo Mineiro. Então, é possível participar, está residindo no Brasil, é possível você participar. Então, só precisa aí verificar qual é o consulado ou se é a embaixada a responsável pela sua região, ok? Então, quais são os benefícios aí que essa bolsa oferece? A bolsa é bem completa, né? Ela oferece desde as passagens de ida e volta, no início e no término da bolsa, isenção de todas as taxas acadêmicas e a bolsa mensal aí para as despesas, né, diárias, despesas de alimentação, transporte, moradia. E também para você se divertir, né? E são 2 valores que a gente tem. Então, para a bolsa de pesquisa pós-graduação e treinamento para professores, a bolsa é de 143 mil ienes, que no câmbio atual dá em torno aí de $1.000 mensais. E para as bolsas de graduação, escola técnica, curso profissionalizante e língua e cultura japonesa, a bolsa é de 117 mil ienes, que dá em aproximadamente $810 mensais. Então, esses valores aí é só para suas despesas mensais, né? E você não paga para estudar. Então, o governo, o MEXT, paga a sua mensalidade, a gente pode dizer assim, né? As suas taxas acadêmicas da faculdade, ok? Então, como que funciona aí as etapas de seleção? Para participar do processo seletivo da Bolsa MEXT, ela é totalmente gratuita, você não paga nada, só precisa ir juntar toda a documentação, né, e trazer até o consulado ou embaixada, ou enviar seus documentos aí pelos correios. Os consulados, né, a representação diplomática realizam a análise dos documentos e convocam os candidatos para o exame escrito. Os melhores classificados aí nos exames escritos vão para a entrevista e os aprovados na entrevista são indicados ao MEXT, ao Japão, onde é realizado, né, a análise de todos os candidatos, né, e recebe a aprovação final. Desde o início do processo até o final, demora um pouquinho, tá? Não é um processo rápido que você fez hoje, em 2, 3 meses você consegue saber o resultado. Então, demora aí, às vezes, quase 1 ano para terminar todo o processo, tá bom? Então, vamos entrar aqui e falar sobre as modalidades. Vou seguir aqui, falar primeiro da bolsa de pesquisa pós-graduação, depois passar para graduação, escola técnica, curso profissionalizante, língua e cultura japonesa e treinamento para professores. Ok? Então, vamos lá. Então, a bolsa de pesquisa pós-graduação é para candidatos até 34 anos. O que você pode fazer com essa bolsa? Realizar pesquisas, né, em universidades japonesas, e também realizar um mestrado ou um doutorado. Então, sempre a sua pesquisa ela vai ter que ser relacionada, ou no mínimo correlacionada aí à sua formação. Você não pode ser formado em uma coisa, né, e querer fazer uma pesquisa numa área completamente diferente, como no Brasil é possível, tá? Tem que estar aí, ter no mínimo, uma correlação com a sua área, tá? E você pode ficar até 7 anos no total com essa bolsa, porque inicialmente, se você embarca em abril, você tem aí um período como um aluno especial, né, de 2 anos ou 1 ano e meio, caso embarque em outubro. Então, durante esse período, você se adapta ao laboratório e você participa do processo de admissão para o mestrado ou doutorado, tá? Sendo aprovado, você prorroga a bolsa aí para 2 anos para fazer o mestrado e até 3 anos para o doutorado. E também é possível aí fazer 6 meses do curso de língua japonesa, tá? Então, outro ponto importante aqui nessa bolsa é, se for um candidato de exatas, né, áreas que você consiga fazer a pesquisa em inglês, ter um bom desempenho no inglês é fundamental. Agora, quem é da área de humanas e a sua fonte de pesquisa, né, vai ser em língua japonesa, e você tem que ter um conhecimento, claro, maior de japonês, né? Mas não é só a prova de idiomas que vai ser o fundamental. Você precisa ter um bom projeto de pesquisa aí. Então, o consulado em São Paulo, ele solicita um projeto de pesquisa de até 6 páginas, né, em papel A4. Lá no nosso edital tem toda a formatação, o que é exigido. Mas ela precisa ter aí, pelo menos, o título, né, que convença os professores, a banca avaliadora, né, um resumo onde você vai chamar a atenção aí também do professor, né? Tem que explicar o porquê, introduzir, né? Como que você vai fazer esse projeto, como que você vai fazer a pesquisa e também referência bibliográfica. Eu acho importante aí você ter um objetivo bem definido, né? O porquê fazer essa pesquisa no Japão e não em um outro país. E também referências bibliográficas, pesquisar autores, pesquisadores, né, que fazem essa pesquisa no Japão, Não adianta, eu acredito assim, que não adianta você fazer um projeto de pesquisa e também não colocar nenhum autor aí japonês, né? Isso porque você vai para o Japão fazer, então não ter nenhum japonês na referência seria aí uma dica, tá bom, pessoal? E você passa por todo o processo, né? Exame escrito, entrevista. Aprovados na entrevista, vão entrar em contato com as universidades japonesas para conseguir a carta de aceitação. Então, não é o consulado que vai dizer, olha, você vai para tal universidade. Não, o próprio candidato entra em contato com as universidades japonesas, apresenta o seu projeto, né? E tem que convencer aí o professor para conseguir ser aceito por ele. Então, os candidatos podem conseguir aí até 2 cartas de aceitação, né? E é recomendável aí que o candidato faça uma pesquisa com antecedência das universidades japonesas, o que eles pesquisam, né? Eu coloquei aí, tem uns pontinhos aí, algumas dicas para vocês, para buscarem, né, as pesquisas que os japoneses realizam aí, tá bom? E o processo de seleção, ele acabou de ser realizado, né? A gente, na semana que vem, aqui em São Paulo, a gente já vai fazer a entrevista, então, mas a inscrição ocorre anualmente no mês de maio, fazemos análise de documentos, os candidatos são convocados para o exame escrito, depois realizamos a análise dos projetos de pesquisa e é realizada a entrevista entre junho e julho. Esse ano vai cair no dia 1º de julho aqui em São Paulo. E os aprovados na entrevista, nós fazemos a indicação ao MEXT. Os candidatos precisam conseguir a carta de aceitação, o MEXT vai analisar os indicados e os candidatos recebem a aprovação final aí no mês de janeiro. E o embarque pode ser entre abril ou setembro. Depois nós temos aí as bolsas, né, de graduação, escola técnica e curso profissionalizante, que são para candidatos até 24 anos, tá? Nós temos para graduação todas as áreas humanas, exatas, biológicas, escola técnica para as áreas aí de engenharia e o curso profissionalizante aí de 3 anos, que ultimamente a gente tem uma busca alta, né? Que o pessoal gosta bastante, que é anime, mangá, ilustração, moda, design, é bem diversificado aí, tá? Então, os candidatos, né, os bolsistas, no primeiro ano, eles participam aí, fazem um curso preparatório e de língua japonesa, para, a partir do segundo ano, ingressar na faculdade ou na escola técnica ou no curso profissionalizante. Então, aos exames escritos, todos os candidatos vão fazer aí as provas de japonês e inglês, e para essas 3 modalidades aqui, nós temos provas de matérias específicas, que pode ser aí, dependendo da área, matemática, física e química, matemática, biologia e química, então, vai depender aí, tá bom? E outro ponto importante aí é que os exames de matérias específicas não são feitos em língua portuguesa. O candidato vai escolher se prefere fazer em inglês ou japonês, tá bom? Então, tem que ter aí um bom conhecimento, ser fluente em um dos 2 idiomas para conseguir resolver aí as questões. E o que é que cai, né, nessas provas aí? Uma dica, uma sugestão é pesquisar o conteúdo programático do EJU, que seria aí como um vestibular para os estrangeiros, né, estudantes internacionais no Japão, tá? Para ingressar nas universidades japonesas, tá? Que seria o EJU. Então, procurem lá, entrem lá para verificar o conteúdo programático, que é um pouquinho diferente aqui do Brasil, porque tem muita coisa que você não aprende no ensino médio e já vai cair na prova, né? Que às vezes no Brasil só aprende na universidade. Okay? Então, um outro ponto que eu acho muito importante destacar é que, para o pessoal de graduação, né, você só escolhe o seu curso. No primeiro ano, se você é de humanas, vai para a Universidade de Línguas Estrangeiras de Tóquio, e se você é de exatas ou biológicas, você faz o primeiro ano, né, curso preparatório na Universidade de Osaka. E esse desempenho nesse primeiro ano é primordial aí para a definição da sua universidade. E para os candidatos aí, bolsistas da área de escola técnica e curso profissionalizante, o curso, o local do curso preparatório. E o curso em si é definido pelo MEXT, tá? Isso aí não é possível mudar ou contestar, é definido pelo MEXT. O processo de seleção, as inscrições ocorrem anualmente no mês de junho, então nós estamos aí com as inscrições abertas para essas 3 modalidades e elas se encerram amanhã, né? Então, os candidatos que tiverem interesse, dá tempo de correr, né, e trazer os documentos aqui para o consulado, tá? Então, fazemos análise de documentos, os candidatos aí têm que participar do exame escrito, né, e entrevista. Então, os melhores classificados são indicados ao Japão, ok? E a aprovação vem mais ou menos em janeiro e o embarque ocorre em abril. Depois nós temos a Bolsa de Língua e Cultura Japonesa, que é para candidatos até 29 anos, né, estudante universitário de letras, com habilitação em língua japonesa ou descendente de japoneses. Aí pode ser de qualquer área da graduação. São 2 tipos de curso, que pode ser focado na vida e cultura japonesa ou na língua japonesa. Essa bolsa aí é de 1 ano e a única coisa aí que o MEXT exige é que o bolsista retorne e conclua a sua graduação, né? Porque você está interrompendo uma coisa que você estava fazendo, né? A faculdade trancou, você vai para o Japão, volta, tem que concluir ela, tá? Senão o MEXT diz aí que você tem que devolver todo o valor da bolsa. E para essa modalidade aqui, o candidato só faz a prova de língua japonesa. Depois temos a bolsa de treinamento para professores, é uma bolsa aí de 1 ano e 6 meses para os professores aí. Precisa ter pelo menos 5 anos de experiência, tá? E para realizar pesquisas em universidades japonesas. E também essa bolsa aqui exige que o professor retorne ao Brasil e aplique o que aprendeu, né, lá no Japão, nas escolas brasileiras, tá? Esse aqui, os candidatos fazem as provas de inglês e japonês. Para essas 2 modalidades, nós acabamos de receber o resultado aí na semana passada, né, para os nossos próximos bolsistas. Ok? O processo de seleção, então, ocorre aí anualmente, no mês de janeiro e fevereiro. O exame escrito é em fevereiro, a entrevista pode ser entre fevereiro e março. A gente indica ao Japão, o MEXT vai fazer a análise e tudo, e tem a aprovação final pelo MEXT. Está escrito aí julho, mas esse ano veio um pouquinho antes, já chegou em junho, tá? Essa daqui é a única modalidade em que o candidato faz o processo no início do ano e já embarca no mesmo ano. As outras modalidades, né? As 4 outras modalidades, o candidato faz o processo no ano anterior e embarca somente no ano seguinte. Então, ele é um pouquinho demorado a bolsa, mas garanto que vale a pena. Então, aqui eu tenho alguns sites para consulta, né? Tem o da Jasso, que eu acho bem bacana, que tem muitas informações, da historinha de EPM mesmo, né? Tem a Estude no Japão em português, e também da ABIMON, que seria a Associação dos Bolsistas do Governo Japonês, bolsistas MEXT, que lá também há vários relatos de bolsistas. Eles têm Instagram também, tá? E o site deles. Então, aqui segue as nossas redes sociais, sempre que temos divulgações sobre bolsas, palestras, encontros, nós divulgamos tudo nas nossas redes sociais. E é isso, foi bem rapidinho aqui para explicar para vocês, tá? Mas eu estou sempre à disposição no consulado. Até uma coisinha, eu coloquei aqui uma foto, foi dos bolsistas que foram esse ano, né? Tá aqui todo mundo na foto, eu espero aí que eu encontre algum de vocês aí um dia para no próximo ano a gente tirar uma foto junto aí no embarque para o Japão, tá bom? Então é isso, pessoal. Muitíssimo obrigada. Falei bem rápido aqui, tá? Só uma coisa: o consulado, se tiver alguém aí que tem um pouquinho de dúvida, o consulado ele está mudando de endereço, tá? O escritório está mudando, mas até amanhã nós continuamos recebendo no mesmo endereço. Então, a partir do dia 1º de julho, o consulado está na Avenida Paulista, 2300. Tudo bem, pessoal? Muitíssimo obrigada.
Muito obrigado, Stella, pela apresentação maravilhosa. Isso, fiquei super empolgado aqui. Bom, eu fui ex-bolsista MEXT também, graças ao Consulado Geral de São Paulo. E é muito gostoso ver que nas nossas redes sociais, nos estudantes que nos procuram, eles têm muito interesse em conhecer mais sobre a Bolsa MEXT. E uma das dúvidas frequentes é se é possível estender, por exemplo, o aluno chega como aluno de graduação no Japão ou como curso técnico. É possível ele estender a bolsa para, por exemplo, fazer um mestrado, um doutorado depois de concluir a graduação ou curso profissionalizante?
Sim, é possível sim. Nós temos aí diversos bolsistas que fizeram a graduação, né? E depois entraram no mestrado, doutorado, e está até no pós-doutorado, mas não é com o MEXT, porque o MEXT não oferece aí o pós-doutorado, né? Mas nós temos bolsistas, né, que estão há vários anos. E é possível também, claro que de acordo com o rendimento, né, do bolsista, ir com um curso profissionalizante, depois entrar numa graduação ou até de escola técnica e ingressar na graduação. Isso também é possível.
Ah, de escola
Então,
profissionalizante técnico para graduação também.
sim, nós temos bolsistas que foram de curso profissionalizante e depois entraram na graduação. E também de escola técnica é possível, mas claro que para isso eu não posso garantir que o bolsista vai conseguir isso, né? Vai
Uhum,
depender aí do desempenho lá no Japão.
tá certo. Muito obrigado, Stella, pela apresentação maravilhosa.
É
E
isso,
já
disposição.
estamos, muito obrigado, já estamos chegando no final do webinar, mas ainda temos algumas informações para compartilhar, né? Tanto a Stella quanto nós do Study in Japan participaremos, né, do Festival do Japão e teremos um stand, né? Nosso stand vai ficar lado a lado, né, Stella?
Sim, é verdade. Venham nos visitar no Festival do Japão.
No Festival do Japão. Acho que vocês estão vendo minha tela compartilhada. Então, o Festival do Japão vai acontecer do dia 11 ao dia 13 de julho, né? O Stand in Japan vai estar lá desde o dia 11 às 11 horas da manhã. O Consulado Geral também já vai estar pronto no dia 11.
Espero que sim.
E o Study in Japan, nós teremos algumas palestras, né? Nos 3 dias. No dia 11 de julho vai ser das 2 às 2h50. No dia 12, sábado, do meio-dia ao meio-dia e 50. E no dia 13, domingo, às 4 horas da tarde, às 4h50. E nós também, dessa vez, teremos cerca de 12 universidades, né? Japonesas participando com envio de materiais. Então, esse ano, achei legal que os estandes ficaram próximos, porque aí, se alguém perguntar sobre Bolsa MEXT, a gente indica o estande do lado para conversar com a Stella San e com o staff, né, do Consulado Geral. E, Stella, caso alguém queira conhecer mais sobre universidades em geral, por favor, indique o nosso
Claro,
estande do
com
lado.
certeza. Pode deixar.
Muito obrigado. E são essas universidades: a Hokkaido University, Kokugakuen University, Kumamoto. Bom, a lista é grande. Se eu ler aqui, a gente vai perder muito tempo. Mas todas essas informações nós compartilharemos nas nossas redes sociais. E espero encontrá-los, né, encontrar vocês todos lá nos nossos estandes, para que vocês possam tirar as dúvidas e conhecer mais sobre os caminhos, né, e possibilidades de fazer intercâmbio no Japão. E você teria alguma última palavra para o pessoal que está nos assistindo, Stella? Acho que seu microfone está desligado.
Perdão, pessoal. Caso vocês tenham dúvidas, né, não só no Festival do Japão, mas estou sempre no consulado, vocês podem enviar e-mail, telefonar, né, ligar no consulado, ou até mesmo vir até o nosso guichê. Venha conhecer nosso escritório novo a partir do dia 1º. A dia 1º não, que eu vou estar ocupada com a entrevista, mas estou aí sempre à disposição. Tá bom, pessoal? Mais uma vez, muito obrigada, e qualquer dúvida é só entrar em contato com a gente, com a Story Japan, estamos sempre à disposição.
Muito obrigado, Stella. Giancarlo, do you have any final words?
No, thank you very much, Stella-san, for the presentation today. Muchas gracias por la presentación. And well, I wish all the success for the Festival de Japan in Sao Paulo. And well, thank you very much. I'm sorry again for the problems that somebody could have with the connection. And we are going to be sharing this video later on YouTube with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Giancarlo. Então, muito obrigado pela paciência e pela participação de todos. Nós pedimos desculpas pelos problemas técnicos ou por aqueles que não conseguiram participar do webinar, mas nós vamos editar esse conteúdo e publicá-lo nos nossos canais do YouTube, de forma que vocês não vão perder nada do conteúdo. Muito obrigado pela atenção de vocês e nos vemos no Festival do Japão. Até mais. Tchau, tchau.